to create financial stability in the beauty industry. If you're someone who's not a numbers person, you don't like looking at your finances, you want to make more money, but like that side of things stresses you out. Well, good. I'm glad you're here because you're in the right place this morning. I'm just going to get my light set up here. I'm live over on YouTube as well. If you guys want to go check me out there at Dawn Bradley Hair. But good morning and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. We're going to have so much fun together. So I actually missed yesterday's morning live. It was a bit of a day and I had to call it. But welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you can't stay for this whole time, don't worry. We've been putting these episodes over on the podcast, The Anxious Creative. So hi, Angelina. So you can catch the Anxious Creative podcast 6 days a week now. We got official episodes every Monday, and then these lives are over on there as well. So one thing that I do is I don't want to be someone talking on a screen at you. I want to be talking with you this morning. And so I'm on YouTube as well. I've got here and I've got there, but I want you guys to go ahead and say your name, where you're tuning in from, pop that in the comments, because I want to make sure that this is a safe space where we can learn and grow together. That light is driving me nuts there. And that you guys get to know each other in here. So go ahead and put your name and where you're tuning in from. And then we're going to jump into this because as people who are not numbers, people who are like, we didn't go into business because I want to be a business person. We went to business because we love what we do and we love the clients that we see, but we realize that we're not being the smartest, most financially stable people, and we want to create financial stability. We want to be able to retire. We want to be able to live a life that we love, and we're sick of people treating our industry like a secondhand industry that we aren't deserving. Has anyone ever experienced that? Like a client or someone, family member, or someone outside the industry being like, that's really cute, or like putting this pretense of like, we can't be successful. And then we live within that box. And so we're going to talk about around financial stability today. We're going to talk a little bit about how to make more money, how to be better with our money, and how to actually realize that we are holding ourselves back with a little bit of these labels that we put in. So we're going to touch on mindset. We're going to have to touch on practical things. We're going to dive into it so good this morning. So I want to say hello to you guys. Hi, Rachel. Hello, Roots Organic Studio. Hi, Angelina. We got Ashley from Oklahoma, Gemma from Milwaukee, Nicole from Chicago. I love it. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Awesome. Yeah, it's like a hobby, or oh, you do hair, right? It's so freaking frustrating. So before we get into it, money is one of those things that's a very touchy subject, and we want to be able to show up with kindness, compassion, empathy, showing that everyone in here that we're on different journeys, different places in our journey. So I want us to be able to show up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable, which means I want this to be a place that is a judgment-free zone. Hi, Blaine from Las Vegas. So if you guys can commit to kicking that inner mean girl to the curb, which means that voice that tells you you're not enough, you can't, you shouldn't, you won't, that judgy voice that judges yourself, kick it to the curb, but also show everyone else in this room that you're a safe person to be around. Can you put a yes in the comments? Even you guys on YouTube, put a yes in the comments while you're watching this, to show everyone else in the room that you are a safe person to be around. Because then if we can create this, we're live on the internet, but if we can show everyone that this is a safe space to learn and grow, then we can show up real, raw, honest, and vulnerable. And when we show up real and honest and raw and vulnerable, we learn more, we grow more, and we're more willing to see things as they are. And when we can be actually honest with ourselves about our circumstances, then we're able to grow so much faster. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. So many yeses. Yes. Okay. So financial stability. First of all, I want you guys to write in the comments. Or if you've got a question, there's a question marks down here. Hi, Aaron from Philly. If you guys have questions or any questions that you have around like creating financial stability, please put it in the question box. Here's the thing. You guys guide this conversation. I come here to help you. And like I said, I don't want to be someone talking on the screen at you. And I know a lot of us are introverted and anxious. Me too. I know it doesn't come across that way, but I totally am. But put your questions in the question box down there on Instagram, or if you're on YouTube, go ahead and put it in the comments on YouTube. But I want to know where you guys are at with finances. What do you think holds you back? What do you need more of? How do you need my help? Because here's the thing, and I'm going to start talking because the comments are always a bit lagged, but I want you guys to put in the comments, like, where are you at when it comes to like, what is it that you actually want? Do you want more money? Do you want to know how to get better with managing your money? Or do you seem like you just like can't get ahead? When you guys tell me that, then I thrive off of you and I'll go from there. But I'm going to start with, I read the book You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero like 10 years ago. And it changed my world because I realized that I had this, it stresses me out. What is it? Is it making money that stresses you out, or just like the thought of looking at your money? But I realized that I had this idea because she makes you go through these exercises about like what is enough money and what is the point where you think it's shameful to have money. And her example was like we like really admire people who do well in their life, but the person who buys a private jet, we're like, come on. Come on, really? Is that necessary? And why? And just to kind of I want you guys to like zoom out and be able to create some perspective in your life. And I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't like have those feelings, but why is it that there is a certain level of income that someone creates that we start to think it's too much? Or like I see all these like Facebook comments and stuff about how if the billionaires could end world hunger, right? But realizing and this is, I mean, I know I'm gonna might step on some toes, but like what am I doing today? What are you doing today that could help end world hunger? Because if you've got a roof over your head and you can feed yourself, then you and I have the ability to help people as well. And it's so easy to pass the buck to be like the people who have more than me should be doing more. But we have this mindset around money, right? Looking at it, better at managing my money. Okay, better at managing. Okay, managing money. Okay, this is where we're going to take this then today. But I want you guys to really start thinking about a lot of times because when it comes to managing our money or being deserving or becoming a six-figure hairstylist or a six-figure beauty business owner, do you believe you deserve it? That's what I want to ask you guys and put in the comments yes or no. Do you believe you deserve to earn a six-figure income? Because when I first created my first year of six-figure income for myself, I was pumped. But you know how I did it? I pushed myself to the limit. I bent over backwards. Hi, Deanna, over on YouTube. I pushed myself to the limit. I was tired and exhausted. I thought the only way I was worth making that much money is if I was completely pushed to the limit because I didn't think that I could earn a six-figure income just like easy. Like six figures doesn't come easy, right? And it can here's the thing, there's a difference between easy and simple. And we tend to make things harder and we think that we need to work harder because we struggle with self-worth and self-value and self-esteem, right? Oof. We don't think that we're actually worth the money. And so like how many of you guys have said I'm not good at managing money? Or Ginny, I hope I can use this example. Me and Ginny were having a chat in the DMs yesterday, and how we look at things and how we look at situations can really dictate how they play out. If I say I can't afford this or there's too many expenses that have come up this month, then I'm not going to find creative solutions to cover my expenses. Right? If you say like, "Oh shit, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. All these expenses come up and I don't have enough money." Now, I leave room for the fact that you guys that there are things that factors that play in that are out of our control. But I will tell you this, and I'm just going to share my story and then we're going to get more into like the practical things, but I also am like really big into the inspirational side of things is being a self-employed person or even not. You know what? I just had a thought. I just had like a memory come up that I'm going to share. So I remember when I lived in the UK because I was a commission stylist. So let me share this story with you. I was a commission stylist. And I was living in London, England, and I was in Covent Garden and I saw these boots that were beautiful. And I looked at how much they were and I was like, "Oof, I don't get paid. I don't get paid. I don't have the ability to make more money right now. I don't get paid for another week and a half. But I'm scared I'm not going to get these boots and I really want them. They're beautiful. I know I'll regret them if I don't get them." So I was like, "How can I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to feed myself for the next week and a half, but I'm going to do it." So I went and bought the boots. Was that a good managing my money decision? I don't know. We get to decide for ourselves how we manage our money, right? And so I went and bought the boots and I had no money to eat and I had no groceries. And so I ate cornflakes for a week and a half. I was 21 years old and I ate cornflakes for a week and a half because I bought these boots. And can I tell you that I still love the boots? They're beautiful. I bought them in 2005. They were leather. They were, I think, Fly London brand. And here's the thing, I had to make a decision about what I valued more. I had to make a decision like, did I care about eating or did I care about the boots? And I chose the boots. And I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. We get to decide how we choose to spend our money and how we manage our money. But if you continue to tell yourself, I'm not a good manager of my money, then why would you all of a sudden become a good manager of your money? Or just because you hate finances and you're not a numbers person doesn't mean you get to turn a blind eye to that part of your life. Now, I'm saying like all of us, because money is a part of all of our lives, whether you're a commission stylist, or like a commission employee or you're a business owner. Just because you hate it doesn't mean it's going to ever go away. Doesn't mean it's magically going to happen. The reality is if you hate it and keep ignoring it, it's going to continue to be a problem. Oh, I know. I know. I'm so sorry. I wish I could give you, I'm like so not that person that's going to give you like the magic answer. Just buy this thing for $29.99, my online course, and you'll become a person who loves numbers and is instantly good with your money. No. And please don't fall for any of that. Please, 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 please. So the first thing you have to do, I've done that myself. I'm 22 and I'm a total kid about my money. Now, Vanity Hair. Let's change the I'm a total kid about my money. You can say I'm 22 and there are times when I haven't managed my money well. There are times. But when we start to say I am blank, I'm not good at money. I'm not good at finances. And here, like nothing, it doesn't matter how many tips, tricks, things are put out piece by piece by piece for you that will work perfectly for your brain. If you continue to say, well, I'm not good at numbers, that won't work for me. Great. It won't. I don't care how good something is. It will not work if you say it won't work. Or if someone gives you a solution and you're like, no, then cool. Then don't even try. Because we stop ourselves before we even start. And the thing is that money and finances are not going to go away ever. Ever. And so how you got to start by like changing the narrative that you have around it. I don't love numbers. I struggle with this, but I'm going to do my best to start to get a good understanding. And I'm going to find people that I relate to and I connect with and that help me not feel stupid about this anymore. How does that feel? That's what I've had to do. I can't tell you how many accountants I've worked with in my business because every year tax season comes along and I want to cry and I want to go back to being an employee because I feel stupid and I feel like a fraud as a business owner every single tax season. But then and I had good accountants, but they would talk circles around me with their accountant speak. And I needed to find someone that spoke my language. And so when it comes to learning to understand your finances and become financially stable or managing your money better, find someone who doesn't make you feel stupid. Find people in a group, a community, maybe it's this one, maybe I'm your mentor, that can help you realize that you don't have to do it the way everyone else has been doing it. I've done, right? And you can find a way that works for you. And it all starts with being open. And so I'm going to ask you guys that are here with me right now, can you say, I'm open to trying to learning and understanding my money better? And just put a yes in the comments. Or if you want to write that, I am open to learning and understanding my finances better. Instead of saying, I'm not good at numbers or I struggle with. Let's switch it to a positive statement that helps you grow and expand. I know this sounds so cheesy, but honestly, it's like step one. Because if you can get out of your way, yes, Nicole says, I am open to learning and understanding my finances better. And then I want you guys, and if you guys can write these down on a Post-it note and put it up somewhere, it's going to make such a huge difference. Yes, say, I am a good manager of my money. I am a good manager of my money. And then I'm going to get into this next practical step for you guys. And I want you guys to know that these are things I love coming here live and sharing this free mentorship with you. Mentoring is like one of my favorite things because I struggled for so long by myself. And that's the whole goal and purpose of my business is to help you not struggle with the things that I struggled with alone. I want to create a safe space in a community. And like my Rock Your Business students, they're kick ass. How many RYBers are in the house right now? Deanna over on YouTube, I know, is one. But I want you guys to know that you're safe here because I didn't feel safe for so long and I struggled. And these things you can do on your own and you can struggle on your own and you can continue to do it on your own, but why not do it in a supportive community? And that's why I come here live every weekday morning to help you guys grow and learn and expand. And so putting on a Post-it note, I'm a good manager of my money. Now, here's my tip that has changed. I suck at budgeting. Anyone else suck at budgeting? Like just put budgeting and like a downward thumb emoji if you suck at budgeting. I can't tell you how many times I have tried to budget in my life and business, and it just doesn't work for me. I don't care how many apps, how many answers for my brain and my ability, it doesn't work. And I am a good manager of my money, though. I will tell you that. And here's the funny thing is I used to say, because I'm not good at budgeting, I'm not good at budgeting. Therefore, I'm not a good manager of my money. And I have tried many different ways to budget. I will tell you this much. And it still doesn't work for me. And so what I had to learn to do is go, okay, is budgeting essential to being a good man, to being financially stable? Being aware of how I spend my money and where it goes is. Budgeting, don't know her. And so this is my trick that made I totally feel that. So I want you guys to know, like, my business, I mean, in 2020, my business generated over $500,000. That's not something I've ever shared. And it like I was like, "What? I don't know what to do." Like this is this that was a number that felt very weird and uncomfortable to me, right? $500,000. What? And I'm like, "But I'm not who what? Like I'm not allowed to this feels uncomfortable. Who am I to be? I'm just this weird person that goes live on the internet in the morning in my PJs and bedhead." Right? And I've tried so many different budgeting things and realizing, okay, budgeting's not the way to do it for me. I want to be a good manager of my money. I don't always choose the best way to manage it. But what I do, this is my secret. Are you guys ready for this? Oh no. Oh my gosh. My phone like literally goes. I hope the sound didn't go. Sometimes the sound goes when I do that. Let me know if the sound went right there. I try so hard, but that's my real struggle is budgeting. This is so amazing. Oh, that is so amazing. Yeah, but I also can I tell you guys, can I be really, really honest and vulnerable with you guys? Oh my gosh, I've like never I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I like just feel like I need to be completely transparent with you. So my business brought in over $500,000 in 2020. And I was like, in a freaking pandemic, what? And then I spooked myself out thinking I wasn't worth it. And then I like retracted and I played smaller and I was like, well, that's uncomfortable. I don't know what to do with that. I feel bad. I feel guilty. I feel like undeserving. And like, mind you, I didn't take home that money. My business created that much revenue. Just, like I had costs and all that stuff. So you guys are, but it still felt really, I had this weird mindset around it. And so I retracted and pulled back and made sure I made less the next year. And how many of you guys know and have you been like that where you've had a similar situation where you're like, "Whoa, I just like charged $500 for someone's service," or "I just did that." And it makes you like receiving that money makes you feel so uncomfortable and you feel undeserving for it for some reason. And so then you self-sabotage or you retract back and you don't even recognize it until you have some perspective. Like, I mean, it's the end of 2022 and I'm having the perspective now on like 2020 and 2021, right? And so I want you guys, I'm going to give you guys a really quick tip to help you be better managers of your money without having to be a good budgeter. You guys are cool for this? And I just want to let you guys know that if you miss any of this or you can't catch it live, you could always go watch it, the replays over on YouTube. I save these in the IGTV, but we're also posting them on the Anxious Creative Podcast. So we have podcast episodes 6 days a week now. Okay, ready, ready, ready? Give me a yes if you're ready, because this is going to blow your mind how easy it is. And how many times do we think things need to be hard, especially if you've been diagnosed with ADHD or you suspect you have ADHD, things tend to be harder for us because things that are simple are harder. And like challenging things are like enjoyable. And so if things come easy, we think we're doing something wrong or it's not right. Since joining RYB, I've been way better about charging my worth and feeling good about it. Yeah, Nicole, I love it. I love it. Okay, so here is the simple trick to managing your money. Check your bank accounts every single day. Open up your banking app and look at your bank accounts every single day. That is my secret. That is my secret. And knowing, and so the other thing that I do as well is any big bills that come out, so it's my rent or my mortgage, I put those on my calendar. If you have a digital calendar or if you have like a flip calendar, and I write them in, they come out, if they come big payments that come out on the same day every month, I write them in my calendar. So I know the big things that are coming up, the essential things that are always coming out. So I know that next week I need to make sure that there's at least $1,000 in this account so that I don't overspend. I'm always looking at my credit cards because it's so easy to rack up consumer debt. It's so easy to go to the suppliers and be like, look at that cute stuff. I'm going to get that. Do you really need it? Do you really need it? And now I was like looking for my phone just now. And now that we can have our credit cards on our phones, it makes it easier to spend money, which means you have to be so much better because they are just trying to make things so much easier for you. Oh my God, I just started doing that. Yeah. I get so conflicted. I'm like, yes, I just did that. But then at the same time, I feel so guilty about it. Yeah, this is the thing. This is the biggest thing that we get in our way about being good stewards of our money is one, we don't feel deserving of the money that we want. And so although it's like, and I used to be so confused about this because it's like, you're actually sabotaging your success. I'm like, why the hell would I sabotage my success? I want success. But it's like, it's an unconscious thing that we do. Like, of course, everyone's like, yes, I want more money. Let me manifest more money. I would take more money if it came to me. But the reality, I forget the stat, But like there's a stat of like 80% of people, something like that. It's not, I don't know if anyone knows the real stat, let me know. But it's like 80% of people who win the lottery end up going bankrupt. It's not about having more money. Having more money, oh, if only I had more money, I'd be better at managing my money. Or if I had more money, then I'd hire people to da 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 da. What are you doing today with the money you have, and how are you being responsible with it? And honestly, that will help you grow in your money management. Are you guys with me on this? I know. I mean, I feel like I'm losing people on this live because I'm giving you the harsh truth. But if budgeting is something you struggle with, and if you don't feel like you're a good money manager, I want to say to you right now, get out of your own freaking way. Get out of your own freaking way. It's time to put your adult pants on and go, okay, clearly I'm embarrassed about this. Clearly I struggle with this. This makes me feel so freaking insecure. This is the one thing that makes me feel like a complete fraud as a business owner. I hate this part of my business. Let's just be real and honest about it. Stop saying like, well, I don't like it and I'm not good at it. And I just love my clients and I love doing what I do. Cool. Yeah, me too. But the reality is that the money thing's not going to go away. So continuing to say like, well, I'm just not good at it, and then continue to be like, oh, I wish I had more, or I'm not going to be able to retire, or I'm going to quit the industry because like my clients won't pay me more. And you put the onus on everybody else but you. I mean, it's a really naive and ignorant way to live, and it makes you feel safe and it makes you not have to take any responsibility for yourself. But you won't achieve any of those goals that you're wanting to go for either. And I don't know about you. I mean, I know this is a little bit of tough love with Dawn this morning, but I don't know about you, but I don't want to be like 95 years old on my deathbed going like, I wish I would have tried. I wish I would have at least tried to look at things a little bit differently. Maybe I didn't have to follow what everyone else was saying. Maybe I didn't have to do it the way everyone else was doing. Was I really just getting in my own way? What if I had just taken a little bit of time to really like observe myself in these situations? Right? How are you getting in your own way when it comes to your money? And does anyone have an answer to that right now? How are you getting in your own way? How are you actually sabotaging it? And how are you managing the money that you have right now? Because I see so many times, myself included, I still do this. Well, if I have this or if I did this, then it would work better. No, you can make it work. Like honestly, this is like prime example of my own business. I have like this weird thing about my graphics and like having things like look a certain way. And I get like really preoccupied as it. And it's like, it's the deterrent from me for doing like the work that actually works. I'm like, no, like that graphic doesn't look proper. Or like, oh no, I need to make that look better. And really, when I look back on like my business over the last 5 years, some of the most successful moments I've had and the most impactful, not even from a finance point of view, but like the impact that I've had on other people and the change that I've been able to help people produce in their lives, my graphics sucked. So what are you using as an excuse thinking like, oh, I need to spend more money, or in order to make more money, or in order to be financially stable, or in order to be a good manager of my money, I need to first do this, or I need like a whole weekend to go to this course, or I need to get this app, or I need to do this. No. Those things can help. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. Abso-freaking-lutely. I mean, I have a whole module inside of my program, Rock Your Business, that helps you with your finances in a really simple, easy to use way for the creative neurodivergent brain. Do you need it? No, don't wait. I mean, Rock Your Business is opening in January and I'd love to have you in there, but you don't need anything. You just need to get out of your own way and start with today going, how can I manage my money well today? Oh, I know. It's so much easier to be like, well, in January, right? Especially right now. It's December. I don't want to be a good manager of my money in December. But being a good manager of your money creates financial stability. Right? Are you guys with me on this? Being a good manager of your money helps you create financial stability. More money doesn't create financial stability. Like I said, winning the lottery, most people end up bankrupt. I need to look up the stat. Let's see if I can quickly do it. And let's see. Let's see. Hi, Renee. Let's see if there's any comments in here. How are you guys feeling with this? Is this landing? What have you taken from this so far? Because creating financial stability means being a good manager of your money. And being a good manager of your money, no, I can't find it. I tried Most lottery winners go into debt. Okay, USA Today. This is from 2021. Someone struck gold. Nearly 700 million lottery tickets sold in California. I mean, I'll have to look for it. But anyway, the reality is people who win the lottery don't all of a sudden magically become good with their money. And so if you owe the government for your taxes, if you're not putting money aside for your taxes, if you're not, here's the thing is we get stuck on like the number, like, oh, well, I brought in this much this today. And so I made this much. And it's like, I can't retire because, I don't have retirement as a self-employed person. Well, why aren't you putting money aside? Well, because I need all that money to live. Okay, well, maybe you're living beyond your means then right now. Ugh, because what you should be doing as a self-employed person is putting money away for your taxes, putting money away from your retirement, and then seeing what's left over. And if what's left over is not enough to live on, then you need to find creative solutions to create more revenue in your business. But if you're just going, well, I only have this much and this is what I have to live off and I can't put any money aside, then that's what you'll continue to do. And I hate to say that, but it's true, right? I don't make enough to put money away for retirement. Well, why would you make more if you can keep stealing from your retirement? If you can keep stealing from your taxes, that money doesn't actually belong to you in the first place. So get it out of your bank account, right? The one thing and my favorite thing that my dad taught me about business is when I first went out on my own, he said, Dawn, get a separate bank account. First things first, get a separate bank account. And 30% of the money you bring in, put into a different account for your taxes. So I did it, 30%. And so I learned to live off of the 70%. And I mean, then I had to pay for my rent and but I put that 30% away. I wasn't allowed to touch it. And so to be a good manager of your money means to actually, as a business owner, if you're getting all that money coming in, not going, oh, I can spend all that, going, okay, this percentage goes somewhere else where I can't touch it for taxes. This percentage goes over there for my retirement. Am I making enough? Because so many times people go self-employed being like, oh, my boss isn't giving me enough commission. They're like stealing all this money from me. Meanwhile, they have a receptionist they're paying to do the orders. They have someone putting the orders on the shelves. They have someone who's cleaning the salon. And all of a sudden, when you go self-employed, you realize you're having to do all these other things in your business that you didn't have to do before. And you realize where that other chunk of your money went. But as well, I worked in a salon that had benefits for us and things like that. Like that's where that money goes. And so you need to learn, instead of going, well, I only make that much and that's all I can live off of. So I can't do anything else. Start making it so that you put it away and go, how can I come up with a creative solution? When people say like, I can't afford to do that. Case in point, the story I was sharing earlier, like, oh, I don't have the money. I've seen people say this to me, and you guys have had it with your clients. I can't afford to do that. And then they tell you about their vacation they're going on. I can't afford to get my hair done, or I can't afford that. And then we get pissed and annoyed. But the reality is they don't see the value in it. Those boots that I bought, I decided they were more valuable than what I was going to eat for the next week and a half. So I bought the boots and I didn't get paid for another week and a half. So I ate cornflakes. That was my choice on what I valued. The boots screamed to me. I was scared I wouldn't get them. They only had my size left in one pair. So I chose the boots over eating. That probably wasn't the smartest thing, but it's what I valued at the time. And so what do you value more? Being able to go to the distributor and pick up those fun little things? Do you value that more over your retirement? Do you value that more over the vacation you want to save up for? Do you value, all the like, oh, I need to buy this new outfit, or I need to do this? Do you value that more over your retirement, or over being able to put money aside for this business course that you're wanting to take to help you learn how to manage your money more and how to create more revenue in your business? Because the shiny objects are so exciting and fun, and we want to spend our money on them because it's an instant gratification, and retail therapy works. Let me tell you, I did it last week. Holy freaking cow. I went to the mall and I went to go Christmas shopping and ended up buying stuff for myself. And I was like walking on cloud nine. I felt so good. Retail therapy feels so good. And I'm not saying not to do that, but you have a choice in every moment. I actually have misplaced my business credit card. And I realized that this is I know it's somewhere in my house, but I haven't spent money on my business in the way that I had in the last couple of weeks. And I went, oh my gosh, how many times was I spending money as an excuse to spend money rather than really asking myself, do I need to? Do I really need to do this? Am I thinking this is going to be answer? And then especially when it comes to like programs, like group coaching, mentorship, retreats, things like that. And like, I mean, I offer those, but I want you guys to ask yourself, like, buying the thing, buying the template, buying the course, getting the mentor isn't in and of itself going to give you the thing. Buying the gym membership, getting the treadmill, getting the Peloton isn't going to make you fit. Are you willing to put in the effort? And so those of you guys that have said, I want to be more financially stable and I want to become a better manager of my money, are you willing to do the work? Yes or no? Just put in the comments. Yes or no? Are you willing to do the work? Now, like I shared with you guys, I've tried to do work that worked for other people's brains. I'm not an accountant. I am not a business person. I am not someone, my brain works in a very different way. And I've learned how to come across where I like appear to fit in with the mass majority of the public. But the reality is my brain works so differently. And it is like, I'm going to cry. It is such a sore spot for me because so many times I remember someone saying this to me, like, Dawn, it's easy. It's easy. And I'm like, it's not easy. I remember someone saying this about bookkeeping. Dawn, it's easy. It'll take 10 minutes a day. Just do it. And I'm like, you don't understand. And it made me feel so dumb because it's really easy for a lot of other people, but it wasn't easy for me. And so I really struggled with that for a long time. And I still do, clearly, because I'm freaking crying on the internet to you guys. Because when it's easy for someone else and all they just keep telling you it's easy, it makes you feel like shit. And I'm not saying these people that have said this to me are like trying to make me, but the reality is that like my brain works very differently. And so these easy things that like, oh, like budgeting made simple or like this is this, it's like, it's freaking hard. And why do I feel so stupid? And why do I feel like a loser? And I should just pack it up. And clearly, I'm not cut out for this because to be a successful business person means you're supposed to be good with understanding these easy things that happen for everyone else. But why can't I be good at this? That's the narrative. That's the thing I fight with still. I don't want you guys to think that I've like overcome it. Feeling dumb and stupid because these easy things. And so then I hide it and then I turn a blind eye to it and then I ignore it because I feel so dumb. And then it becomes a bigger monster, right? We push away the things we don't want to deal with that make us feel dumb, that make us feel worthless, that make us feel like we suck. We push it away and it grows bigger and bigger and bigger and we keep ignoring it. But the moment that, and this has been like the common theme, if you guys have been part of this 6-week series I'm doing, is showing up and being vulnerable and being able to admit that isn't easy for me. And I got to be honest, I struggle with managing my money. Oh, what a weight off to be able to share that with other people and stop trying to pretend, right? I can't do it. It's too much for my brain. My husband helps me. I love that, Nicole. That's why my partner says about cooking. He says it's easy. I disagree, right? And so this is the thing is like, I want you guys to know that those things that we struggle with, the business side of business, the money side, that's okay because we're not in this to be accountants or money managers, right? It's a part of our business that we need to learn it and find a creative solution for that will work for our brain. Absolutely. But you didn't become a business owner, a hairstylist, a lash tech, a nail tech to be good at numbers. So take that stress away. You don't need to stop. You can stop pretending that you get it and you understand it. And the beautiful thing is because our brains don't get those things, it's because our brains are so amazing in other ways. We are creative people. We see the world through a different lens. We understand things in a different way. We problem solve like no other. And I want you to know that the things that make you feel stupid, dumb, and like you're a loser and that you'll never make it, and clearly you don't have what it takes, and all those things that run through your head, you have just as many and more amazing things that people look to and admire. And here's the shitty thing about the world is we don't share compliments and what we admire about other people enough. And especially with the ones we love and the ones we're closest with. I'm getting super emotional. Because what often happens is when we admire other people, instead of going, oh, wow, like, look what you're doing. I'm so impressed. And like that, I'm in awe of that. Instead of that, we turn the narrative on like, I suck. right? And it's funny. And so those of you guys that are like me that are like thrive off of words of affirmation and are rejection sensitive people, so even perceived rejection, like someone didn't tell me I did a good job, so therefore I must have done a bad job. We need that we thrive. I don't want to say we need, but we thrive off of affirmation. And so I want you guys today, what let creating a habit of affirming each other. This is something that I teach my students inside of Rock Your Business to do is like share your wins, have an accountability partner, support each other, because the more you give affirmation to others, the more it will come back. And I can't say it's going to be guaranteed. And there have been days in my life where I feel I've had like pity parties, like full on pity parties of like, like be honest, I've been like, I give so much to other people and how come no one's giving back to me, right? Like I've had those moments. And it's hard to admit. I don't like admitting that I'm like I felt totally sorry for myself that I helped so many other people and yet nobody's like reaching out to see how I'm doing, right? And like then we make ourselves a victim, and the reality is like we're just having a very human moment. And if I didn't admit that to you guys, I wouldn't be being real and honest and vulnerable, and that's really important to me, is be completely transparent. There have been moments where I've totally had a pity party and felt like I don't help other people for a transaction, but yet I've had moments where I'm like, where is the transaction? Right. And it's like when a client asks, I'm going off on a tangent now, but like when a client asks for a favor or for you to come in on your day off or for you to stay late or for you to squeeze them in, and you do it because and then you're pissed when they don't thank you enough. Have you guys ever had that? When you're like, I just squeezed you in and they're like, cool. And you're like, wait a minute, where is the telling me how amazing I am? Because a lot of times how we sabotage our lives and our businesses and why we struggle with boundaries and why we struggle with communication and why we emotionally discount and why we're not good at managing our money is because sorry, that crying really made my nose run. The reason why we do all that is because we are motivated by affirmation from other people. We are motivated by money, sure, but at the end of the day, we want to feel worthy. Oh, did I just like hit that so freaking right on the head? We want to feel worthy. And so the thing that motivates us most, and the reason why we keep sabotaging our businesses in other ways and we don't understand, is because the desire to be worthy, to be affirmed by other people, is subconscious but stronger than the desire. Oh, I hate when that happens. That desire to be worthy, to be valued, to be seen as someone, to be admired, to be affirmed, is that desire, that unconscious need, is stronger than the need to be financially stable or to manage your money better or to have good boundaries or to have good communication or to follow through on your policies. The desire to be liked, to be needed, to be wanted, to be valued. Because self-sabotage, what I've learned over this last year, and I read the book The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest, and you guys, I highly recommend it. I haven't even finished it. But she talks about it's not actually sabotaging yourself. Self-sabotage isn't actually, you're not trying to sabotage yourself. It's an unconscious need that is outweighing the present need that you think you have. So if you're like, I want to grow my business. I want more clients. I want to get more clients in. That's your want. And you're like, why do I seem to keep sabotaging myself? Why do I keep getting in my way? I just want more clients. That's all I want. I've been manifesting it. Like, why? But if you're really honest, I'm going to share mine, what I used to have, my unconscious need. And the podcast this week, FYI, like yesterday's episode that came out, it's all about how to grow your clientele as an introvert. DonBradley.com/168, I believe, if you want to go listen to it. But if you have this desire to like, I want more clients, but why can't I seem to get more clients? I want you to think about what is the unconscious need or want that is winning over that. And mine was, I just want people to like me. That is like a deep-seated thing for me in my life. I just want people to like me. And so the thought of going out and handing out cards or offering people to come in and book with me, what if they reject me? What if they say no? What if they say I'm not, like, the fear of that and then people not wanting to see me was terrifying. So I'd rather just not invite anybody in. So yes, I want more clients. I'm doing all the things. I'm posting on social media. I'm putting on my stories. I'm putting my availability. You're playing it really safe because you're shielding yourself from the possibility of the perceived rejection of someone saying no, thank you. But what if you actually started to go, okay, what is that unconscious desire that's winning out right now? Hi, Nina. And so this is very relatable, especially since words of affirmation are my love language and God, do I love validation. Right. And so I want you guys to think like self-sabotage isn't about you're not sabotaging yourself. It's just that you have an unconscious desire that is outwinning the current one. You want to get financially stable. You want to become a good manager of your money. I mean, Nina and I can both Nina will give Nina's like the queen of this. She's got Make That Money course, right? Rock Your Business has a whole module helping you for ways that work for our neurodivergent creative brains. You don't have to become a bookkeeper. You don't have to do it all the ways that everyone's been telling you. If you've tried many, many times and it still doesn't keep working, then maybe those methods aren't the right ones for you. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't mean you're a shitty business owner. It means you're a creative person that is amazing at the work that you love to do and the clients you get to connect with. And this is the part of business that is your weakness because that's not why you went into business. But there is something that the reality is, and I think Nina will back me up on this, is like, just because you're not good at managing your money, just because you don't understand finances, just because you don't want to be an accountant or a bookkeeper, cool. But that does not mean that money and how to manage it will go away. Just because you suck at it, like myself, I'm not naturally someone who like wants to have a spreadsheet in front of me and create a budget. Like I said, I've never done budgeting. I don't do budgeting. My secret is I just look at my bank accounts every single day and I know what my expenses are. But money and having to manage it is never going to go away. So you need to find people and places, things that you feel safe in, that you can show up and feel safe to be honest and vulnerable. Because I'll tell you, there were so many times that like I'd go places and like, yeah, totally get it. Cause I was so embarrassed. I'm like, if people knew that I don't get this, then I'll be seen as a fraud and a loser. And I don't want to be affirmed that how I feel is true. So I'll pretend that I get it. But because I'm pretending that I get it, I can't ask the questions that I need to ask to get the answers that I need so that I can understand. So first and foremost, you need to find a space where you feel safe and comfortable in. Yeah, Nina, listen, I almost failed out of high school because I sucked at math and here I am teaching it. You got this. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. And so I want you guys to know that like I'm just going to see here that just because you suck at it doesn't mean make it go away, but you need to find people and places that you can feel safe to be vulnerable, ask the right questions and get compassionate answers back and have people who are willing to work with you and how your brain works. Right? Because if you don't have a place that you can feel safe and someone that can work with you in creative solution making, then you're continue to stay stuck. And so the first step you need to make is to show up and be able to be vulnerable with the right people that you're safe with and be like, I need help. And I need to find something that works for me. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys this morning. And so if you've just joined in now, don't worry. This is going to be saved on Instagram. It's also saved on YouTube. It's also up on the podcast tomorrow, the Anxious Creative Podcast. You did come live. I was hoping you would. Yay. Perfect. Because this is Business Breakfast in Bedhead. This is very impromptu, but I mean, because you have Make That Money course. And I love that you said I almost flunked out of high school. Like, tell us about that a little bit. Oh, shoot. Yay. Oh my goodness. I love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Hmm. Yeah. You know what I love? Because I remember like the moment that I had so going to technique classes all the time back in the day. And I used to be like, this seems silly because it seems so impractical. Like I would never do this cut in the salon. And then I had an aha moment where I'm like, oh, I can take bits of this and apply it into my business. And I was just thinking how it's like me and you probably have some similarities with how like we teach money. And then we probably have some differences because we know what works for us individually. And that's where I want to empower everyone that's here is like, say you've taken like multiple different education and you're like, well, this person says this, but this person says this, and it's like find meld the way together that works for you. And I remember going, oh my gosh, now technique classes are so different because I'm like, oh, I like how they said to like use my scissors that way, or I like how they did that color and I'm going to place it with this, and oh my gosh, this works really well for me. And it was like I used to because I mean a black and white thinker by nature. It's like, oh, you tell me exactly how to do it, I got to do it this way, and if I do it outside of this way then it's not right or it can't be right. And then realizing like I'm allowed to do things the way it works for me, and I can find pieces and bits from other people that help me create the way that works for me. Yes. Mhm. Mhm. Yep. Yes.
Isn't going away in your
Yep.
business. It's not going anywhere. And if you avoid it, it's not going to actually get better. It's going to get worse because
Yeah.
now you become even more distant from what it looks like to actually run your business. So I say dive in a way that makes you feel comfortable, but dive in some way, shape, or form
Mhm.
so you can feel a little bit more comfortable with finance and math and money and
Mhm.
profit margins and all of the things. But the more you take charge of that area in your business, I'm telling you right now, because this is a lot of the stuff you talk about, Dawn, is that you become so much more confident in the way that you operate your business, and you become more confident the way that you function behind the chair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Conversations around money become easier.
Yeah. Especially when like I was sharing, I don't know if you were on the live yet, but I was sharing how like if you are like, well, I can't afford to retire. It's like, why? Because you're stealing from your retirement right now. If you're not putting that money aside, then you're actually stealing from your retirement. And you're like, well, I can't live off the money if I put money aside. Well, then you need to find a way to create more revenue then, because saying that like I can't afford to, like that's your boss. Like if you work somewhere, your boss wouldn't be like, can't afford to give you a pension. Sorry. Right? And like I love that you said because I said like if we ignore it, it just becomes bigger. And it becomes this thing that like haunts us. But like the biggest thing that ever like that's helped me in so many areas of my business is just being able to be vulnerable and admit like, oh, I suck at this. But like even when I started teaching, I didn't when I started doing technique education, I'm like my biggest fear was I would go teach a class and like someone's hair wouldn't turn out and people would be like, why the hell did I pay to come to this class? Where I remember the day that I was like, I actually hope something goes wrong because then I can show them how I'd handle it. And like switching that narrative, and same with money. Like, everyone, like you have such an amazing story. Like, if you didn't have your story of being what, $90,000 in debt, like how many of you guys that are in here with us right now, if Nina's like, money's always come really easy. I've always understood it. It's been great. It's just like I'm naturally like I understand it, so you should learn from me. Like,
Like, okay, good for you, but
yeah.
I'm in a bad situation over here. How do I get out?
Right. Like I don't want to learn from the people who get it naturally because they good that they get it, love it, but they won't be able to teach me anything.
Yes, and I think that here's the thing when people decide who they want to learn from, because there's so many amazing educators and coaches and mentors and all of the things, right? There's so many people that you can vibe with. And I think it's so important to listen to yourself and your gut and who you feel connected to, because that's how you're going to absorb information if you decide to take a course or take a class. You have to
Yes.
be connected with that person. And I think the reason why people connect to you or me or other educators that are being vulnerable is that we're saying, hey, I was really shitty at this. Hey, I was now $90,000 in debt. And I've been in debt, not that significantly, but pretty bad, more than one time. Like, hey, I almost closed my business twice. I actually sold my home to keep my salon, and that was in year 4. And I was already a hairstylist probably maybe 12, 13 years by that point. So I was making mistakes as a veteran stylist. And I was making mistakes as an owner that was open for 4 years. So I think when you feel like you're not good enough, or you're not smart enough, or you're not talented enough, or you're not, like, your brain can't wrap around things, right? It's good to lean into people like us who are saying, like, hey, I screwed up too. Like, hey, I almost failed out of high school because I couldn't pass algebra 1. Like, this is real shit. And I think
I stole $20,000 from my business and then I owed 2 years of taxes.
That's a whole other thing too. Yeah, I was in debt with the IRS too for years. And I think it's just about, like, hey, this is it. This is what I've gone through. And I know that you feel the same. It's like, if I could share my story and help one person not make the same mistakes that I did, or accelerate their career or their growth, I am here for it.
Yes, honestly. And like realizing, like, that's why I go live every weekday morning. It's like, this costs nothing for people to come join. Yes, I have paid programs that I can help more in depth with, but like at the end of the day, I mean, I think even when I did hair full time, if I could have done it for free, I would have. The reality is we all have to make money and we all need to make a living, right? And we shouldn't feel bad about that. But like, even when I was full-time behind the chair, I had so many clients with fine hair, because I would talk about how much I used to get such shitty haircuts and layers with my fine hair. I'd get mullets. And I'm like changing the world one less fine-haired mullet at a time. And that people are like, oh, you get it. You get my struggle. And so that's why I'm so glad that you came here live, because I'm like, yeah, I'm not naturally good at money. And I feel dumb and stupid when it comes to, like, when people get really businessy talk around it. But it's like, the reality is, like, I've been able to grow my business in ways that I never dreamed possible, being crappy at money. But I want to encourage you, and I think you'll be on board with me with this, is like saying, like, I suck at money isn't helpful, but saying I struggle with money, but I'm learning to lean into it and get better at it. Like, changing that narrative and not saying I suck, but like, money isn't something that comes easy, but I'm continuing to look at it and observe it.
Absolutely. Ooh, I love that you brought that up, because if you go on my Instagram on Saturday, I shared a couple of bits on how to change your perspective. Instead of saying, like, I'm broken, I am healing.
Yes.
I am lost, I'm rediscovering myself. I'm a failure, I'm a work in progress. And so when you have these conversations wrapped around money, instead of saying I suck at money, it's like, I'm investing in my education for growth. I'm still discovering the money side of my business. It's just switching those things and changing perspective, where it's like, we don't have to have it all figured out now.
No.
Like, it took me 5 years to figure things out in my business when I was a salon owner. So don't put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
But just dive in little bits and pieces, and switch that narrative that you keep saying to yourself over and over. Because the more that you keep that narrative the same, the more you avoid. And we know what happens when you avoid is things get worse and worse and worse. They get bigger, not better.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not going to get easier. It's like when, like, people say, like, oh, the bills came in the mail and I'm just not going to open them up. I mean, that money that you owe is not going away. And I don't want to ever shame people and like fear people into change, but like, and like I said, like, the first step that helped me is just starting to look at my bank accounts every day. Open up your bank app every day and just look. And then ask yourself, like, when have you seen, like, and I know I've been guilty of this. It's like, seen like a program, a mentorship, something that I'm like, oh, I can't afford that right now. But then, like, on Black Friday, went and bought a new TV. And it's like, oh, I totally could have afforded that thing, but I was scared because I had to put work in to do it. And I was scared that I had to make an effort. but I'd rather have the quick fix. And this identity and label that I've put on myself that I suck at money keeps me really safe, because then I can continue to say I suck at money. And then that way I don't have any responsibility. My brain just doesn't work that way. And I mean, Nina and I are here to shine a light on that's a full load of crock of shit, because we both suck at money too. Right? I've been going live for an hour now, so I'm gonna like peace out. But this has been so fun. I think we should go live more and talk about money. What do you think?
Hello, I am you. Listen, I'm here for you. Whatever you want, I'm on it.
Yeah.
My arm's about to fall off though because I don't have my arm. I'm holding my arm
yeah.
Like, oh, tell us to go live. Let me do it. I just
Let's do it.
rolled out of bed. Let's go.
I love it. I'm in like, look at my sweet outfit. I've got my hoodie and then I've got cute sweatpants that were an impulse buy. Talk about not like, I was like, I just want retail therapy. And like, I don't feel guilty about it because I don't do it as often as I used to. But I went to the mall, Lululemon had all their Black Friday stuff on, and I got these for 50% off. And I was like, I'm very proud of myself. Okay, there's one question that I want to answer, and I want you to answer too. And then we're going to wrap this up. But if you guys missed it, I mean, I'm live on YouTube as well. And I just realized anyone watching on YouTube is not going to hear Nina. So you can come watch the replay on Instagram. Yeah. And then also we put these replays up on the podcast the day after. So you can catch this if you didn't catch the whole thing tomorrow on the podcast. But Court Does My Hair says, how do you feel about taking out a small loan when going out on your own? Nina, what are your thoughts? And then
Yes, here's the thing. And I talk about this a lot because I do coach a lot of people, stylists who want to go out on their own. I feel like if you can avoid a small business loan at all cost, do it. I feel like you don't want to start off your business by being in debt. Now, it depends on what the loan looks like. Are we talking $5,000? Are we talking $30,000? There's a difference. And also understanding that you have to pay that back. So now you have to rerun your business projection in terms of your business plan to make sure that you wrap that payment in, because there's going to be interest on that. Make sure that you wrap that payment in, and what does that look like now? What is that doing to your profit margin, and how long is it going to take you to get out of that? So I feel like there are certain instances where it's a small, like a micro loan. I mean, like, okay, that will work. What percentages? Are you getting it from a credit union? Is it very minimal? But I really suggest not going into debt to start a business. I suggest starting your business plan. You can go on SBA.gov and do your business plan. That's going to take you a while to do. Start stacking cash. Start running your numbers and seeing what it's really going to cost you to open up. Because if you start putting money aside, and we're talking about $5,000, you can do that, in a decent amount of time. So that's kind of my stance on that. I'm never like, no, don't do that ever, because I feel like every circumstance is different. But I don't want people to start off their business getting into debt. So I think that's where are you at with that, Dawn?
Yeah, so I agree 100%. I have a little bit of a different perspective, because when I went out on my own, I had nothing, and I needed to get out of a bad situation at a salon, and I found a place that I could lease. There was no salon suites here at the time. And it was like ugly. It needed so much work. But then I gave my 2 weeks notice, and then my boss let me go that day, and I was kind of like in a panic, and I had enough. I don't even know where I got my damage deposit for, but I didn't have anything, no savings. And I did it. And so my first question when someone says like, should I take out a loan? My first question is like, what are you planning on spending it on? Because like, is it like, there's salon suites that have like chairs and sinks for you. And I'm talking hairstylists, but like, what are you planning on spending it on? Is it like to have the Instagram beautiful space? Because that's not a smart business decision to just like have it aesthetically pleasing. Is it because you like actually need like functional things like a chair and a mirror and a sink and like a plumber? Okay, I understand that. I got really lucky that I found a space, and I just share in stories because that's how I do better. I found a space that like was a salon, but it had like carpet by the sinks, and I hated it, but I just, as I could, improved it, because I've never taken out a loan for my business ever to this day, ever. And I'm not saying that it's not a bad, like it can be a good thing and it can help accelerate a growth. And I've never opened up a multi-chair salon either. So like from that perspective, but going out on my own with the availability of salon suites, I would say like, and it's all situational. So Courtney, like, obviously I'm not saying this is like flat across the board, but I would say like avoid it at all costs if you don't need to. If it's just to have like fancy things that make it look nice. Like when I moved to Calgary, I worked from my basement in a rental that was like not cute. And I charged the same as downtown because I knew the value of the service I was providing. It wasn't, people don't come for the value of how cute your space is. Oh no, Nina left. So I just want you guys to know that like that's kind of where like I loved what Nina shared. It's like, yeah, you need to like know how much your business is costing you and understand all those things that go into it. But I don't think a business loan is necessary. And like I agree with Nina, like if you can avoid it at all costs, please do. Because like, yeah, I like Nina says it so much more eloquently than I do, but like, you don't want to start off your business in debt. You don't want to have to pay back a loan. And I always did things as I could go. Oh, maybe she's back here. I always built, like my first salon, like my clients love being able to see the transformation too. And if you have this fear that like clients won't come to you because your space isn't cute, then that's something to look into. But yeah, I would say like, and like how Nina said, like if it's for $5,000, not worth it. Not worth it. I mean,
I'm sorry I fell off.
I know I was like, oh, I was boring her.
I went into stories somehow. I don't even know what happened. I was trying to read her comment. I think she was saying 5 to 10K to like just have for extra, like for tools and things, like just to kind of keep on hand. I think it's also thinking about like, okay, how much money am I going to pay on that $5,000 to have it for extra, for things.
And interest rates aren't cheap right now.
Right, you're going to pay interest on that loan. So it's like figuring out, do I need that 5K? Is it going to be sitting in an account? And what am I going to be paying in terms of interest on that money to sit there? Or what am I using it for? I love that question. What am I using it for? And I think, having a beautiful salon is amazing, but overindulging and investing isn't going to bring you new clients.
No.
If you spend $100 on a chair or $1,000 on a chair, does that mean that you're going to grow your business faster? No.
Yeah.
So we have to think about what we're putting our money into, and I think for her, it's just like wanting to have more cushion, which I totally understand. But again, think about like, what am I going to be paying on that money, and is it worth it over the duration of the loan? How much am I actually going to be paying on that 5 or 10K? So.
And I'll say this, like, and I know this is like not good, wise business advice. I will preempt that with this, but like, if I have a cushion, I get freaking lazy. And so and that's why I'm saying this is bad business advice. Like I have savings, but I can't see the savings. Because if I see the savings, then I like then I rely on them and I get lazy. So I like my financial advisors like, Dawn, you're the best client ever because you like forget about the money that you have saved. And I was like, yeah, because if I see it, then I won't. If I don't have a fire under my ass, I don't get shit done. And so, and like my story of going out on my own is like, I think like I've never made a business plan because I felt dumb and it felt overwhelming. I didn't know how to do it. So I've never made a business plan. I'm like not saying that's something that you guys all should do, but I'm just saying like didn't have a business plan, didn't know how to do any of it until like I gave my notice. They left me go that day. And I was like, oh crap, I'm in it. And the only way that I get shit done is if I'm all of a sudden in it. So I personally have to jump and then figure out how to land. Because if I start figuring out how to land, I will delay, procrastinate, find another, and then never actually take action. So if you guys are similar to me, like take the first step and do it and then figure it out. And like I said, I had a used chair for the longest time, like Facebook Marketplace, like friends, like find things. You can do it really inexpensively to start. And then I think both of you and I would probably agree on this is like, there's nothing more rewarding than buying things as you can afford them.
Yes.
And the pride that you have of like, I built this and I own all of this.
Yeah.
It's not on loan from the bank. And I love looking back at the pictures of my first salon and then my salon here in Calgary when I first got it. I mean, I had to get a plumber. It wasn't a salon before, so that was an expense. I had to get a plumber come in, plumb in my washer and dryer. My washer and dryer I have had since I first opened up my first salon, and I got them. They were display units at a furniture store. So I got them on a discount and they still work great. But I didn't put anything into my salon, and I bought like these shelves off of Wayfair and then spray painted them. It's so embarrassing. And my client, who's an interior designer, she now designed the salon the way it is now. But I didn't get like a proper, pretty, like professional looking salon until last year, you guys. So, and it was $40,000 and I did not take out a loan.
Right. I think, it's kind of building up to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good point. When I opened up my salon, I was very cautious about how much money I was spending. And then when I moved into the other location, because I was in a very small, maybe 700 square foot spot, and then moved into a 1,600 square foot spot during the recession, during the time I was actually broke, I took that leap of faith to move into a bigger spot with a higher rent. And I wasn't spending money on getting new chairs and getting new things and all. I just wanted to make sure that we could have a space where we could actually grow and attract new business.
Mm-hmm.
So then after probably year 6, 7, 8 was when I started to really invest in the decor, where I actually could spend money on lighting and spend money on getting brand new chairs and brand new stations and all of those things. And it was nice to be able to do that and not feel, because I was always in debt.
Mm-hmm.
I was always in debt for years and years and years. I was in debt. So to not be in debt and have to buy those things, like not being in debt, was really celebratory. So I'm really glad that you're bringing that up, because there is a sense of like empowerment in that. And so, yeah, I think it's start small.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could give like the biggest piece of advice, like the biggest piece, if you're thinking about going out on your own, if you're thinking about opening a salon, make sure that you can run the business on your own.
Yes.
You can cover all of your business expenses. You can cover your rent. You can cover the everything without having to bring on stylists to support that expense side of it. You should always be able to cover all of the bills and keep the doors open just you, as opposed to going in really big and getting whatever 10, 15 chairs and then strapping yourself with a $6, $7, $8, $9, $10,000 rent, and now you have to rely on other people to cover your bills. So that's always the biggest piece of advice that I give people when they're like, I would open a salon. I'm like, yay, let's run the numbers and make sure that you can do this on your own, because if Kelly and Karen and Monica quit, you got to make sure that you can run this business and pay for it by yourself. So that's my tip that I'm going to leave everybody with.
I love that. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming, Nina. This is.
Thank you for inviting me. I love this. Let's do it more often.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm an hour ahead of you, right? You're Pacific time. Weekday mornings, 8 a.m., 7 a.m. for you. But we went a little bit later, so this is good. But yeah, I think we need to talk about this more. Same advice applies for getting a suite. Yes. Yes, absolutely. I would say it's so rewarding to like know that you paid for it. And it's not, yeah, I really don't think if you're, I think first, like going into a salon suite, and I mean, I know this is a blanket statement, but I don't think there's any need to go get a loan for going into a salon suite. Would you say that?
Yeah, because typically, I mean, it could vary, but
Yeah.
typically it's $5 to $10,000 to really get in there, like opening orders, do
Mhm.
all the things. If you want to swap out a chair, or if you want to paint or put up wallpaper, whatever you want to do, usually it's $5 to $10,000. And I think that it's so much more beneficial to not go into business with that. Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming live. Thank you, all of you guys that came here. Yes. And just know that, you guys, if you suck at one part of your business, especially when it comes to money, you didn't get into business to be a money person. So don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Nina and I are here to help you. We've had our own struggles. Yes. And we'll be coming live more often. So feel free to reach out to either of us. Shoot us a DM if you've got questions. We're definitely going to be answering more questions again, because I think we both decided we will go live. And this business breakfast in Bedhead is weekday mornings at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's 9:15. This is the longest one I've probably ever done. And you can catch them on YouTube. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get, when I have someone live on Instagram, get them on YouTube as well. Or you can listen to these episodes on the Anxious Creative Podcast 24 hours after they go live here. So thank you guys. Have an awesome day.
Thank you.
Bye. Oh, YouTube. Bye.